Guys, today I'm recording a tutorial to teach human players how to creep on 4 players map. We're gonna start with a map where it's kinda hard to creep the expo. The camp is really tough. It's Northshire. And my first bit of advice on 4v4 maps is that your peasant that builds the barracks, you should rally where you want to make a scout farm. On this map, this is the best location. Because this is where people are going to enter to come and attack you or harass you, and you want to be able to see that as early as possible. Don't rally too close here. Yeah, this far is good. And yeah, remember, the peasant that builds the barracks, you send, and then here, we're not going to make it in a corner, we want to make it here, right in the center. So that, you know, at night you have reduced vision. Let's say you put it on the right side, at night you will only see this far, then people could go there and sneak in. Now it's like super unlikely they will be able to sneak past. Here, not too close. If you set rally point here, the creeps will engage. And because this camp is so tough, I mean, obviously we're using 5 militia. This is the main straight expo build that we use on every map. Look, I'm gonna summon the water elemental directly, so that the cooldown is reloading. And I'm gonna be fighting for as long as possible with double water elemental. This is by far the best creep route, I think, on this map. Now we're gonna engage with Archmage at the front. Archmage can take some damage. This is not a map on which you're gonna get harassed very often, especially if you're not corner spawn. Now you want the water to tank a lot, actually. I'm not doing the creeping too great this game, but it's just to get the idea for you guys. Whatever gets slowed is what's gonna get attacked usually, so you have to be careful. You want to keep the water elemental alive, that's important. And then you keep queuing footmen and peasants up until 28, basically. Yeah, once you have 28, you stop. Now you pick up both. And see, I didn't wait, I just made the second water immediately. I just wanted as much firepower as possible. This one's almost dead, we want to keep the damage from it, though. And now we're gonna want to tank with this. I did pretty bad, actually, this game, but usually I would have 3 water elementals here still. So now you mine a little bit of wood because you don't have the gold yet to start that expo. But then as soon as you have enough, you start it. You force it with everything. And now you start one more footman when you're at 28. Then you will make one more, so you'll go to 30. Then now look at your lumber. If you did the build well, you should be getting close to having 100 wood here, which will be for defense. This is a great item to scout, actually, because you can send this to like mains and expo. Now look, I will engage with the water and wait until this guy slows, until I attack with the footman. If you attack with everything, sometimes he slows the footman, and then you just like get that sniped, which is very bad. You want the water elemental here to line up very well with when it expires, like to do the max damage. Usually you creep faster than your teammates on this map, and that gives you level 3, by the way. But so that means like here you can just still do this after. So then one more peasant in main, one more in expo. We're gonna get the second racks. See, I started defend here. As soon as the expo finished, I had 100 lumber. Sometimes you'll get it a little bit earlier. Sometimes your teammate will share resources. But yeah, you should try and start defend at the 30 supply. Now we can get this. We can get a farm here in advance for the shredder, which comes at 23 o'clock. You see, we're very close, but I think personally, I prefer to tech before getting shredder so that I can tech a little faster. And then now is when you start, let's say like the opponents will be there and your teammate is there. That's when you start going here to basically meet them and start fighting. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this map. Now, yeah, I basically would tech. And then with my next 100 wood, I will buy the shredder. I like teching quicker. You know, if you get the shredder now, then you will have 0 wood, or you will have not much wood, and then it will take a long time to tech. It's better to get this now, and then tech now, and then get the shredder after. So that's it for this map. Hope this is helpful. If you guys have questions, leave them under the video, and now let's go to the next map. Okay, up next, we got Arathor. It's a very weird map because every spawn is like super different than another. So in terms of creeping, if you spawn here on the insides, you can go for straight expo. But if you spawn on the outside like I am now, and personally I like to do this camp at first, and then or maybe this one second and then expo. I think when you do that, you can get defend very early, and defend counters This is one of my best builds, by the way, which very few people are doing. Like, this one is extremely good. When you get defend, you counter headhunters, archers, water elementals, and fiends. So you counter every basic unit that you're going to be seeing a lot of. On this map, you have to send a peasant quicker to the bridge here to make a scout farm if you're on the outside. Because if a Farseer comes harass you straight away, like this is so far away that you're going to lose the peasant. So now I send that earlier, and then I'm going to make that farm at 19, like very, very early. Because I don't want to lose the peasant, ideally, which sometimes a Farseer will still show up and follow you. So now I start the farm, I send that home. If you spawn on the outside, as a general rule on like a lot of maps where you think you might get harassed, it also depends how many orcs are in the game, but a Farseer can really wreck your peasant line. So it can make you extra safe to just get a tower like this. So we're gonna get the scout tower. And then every game is different. Some games you don't upgrade it at all. It really depends. Like, I love this farm because sometimes I'll wait until I see something coming to harass me to start the tower, basically. But ideally, you want to get defense after 3 footmen on most maps when you do this creep route. So it's the 2 main creep route is straight expo or defend after 3 foot, level 2, then expand, that gives you level 3. These are the main 2. But of course, there are some exceptions, which we're going to see after on some of the map. Now I do the first camp. Never wait too long to pick up the item in case there is a blade in the area. So now I'm gonna start defense after 3 footies. So you see, if I had made the tower, I wouldn't have had the wood for defense. And then now if I see nothing showing up at all, then maybe I just won't upgrade the tower at all. Whereas if I saw something, maybe I would have upgraded the tower. I would have made a 4th footman because I wouldn't have the wood for defense. And then after the 4th footman, I will get defense. So you see, I'm just kind of adapting to the opponents being there or not. Pick up a second circlet. Now we go to do the expo. If people are new here, sometimes you can delay the expo. You can ask your teammate to come help you, like do it with you. Like if 2 people are on you, obviously don't go for the expo, then just stack. It means that they wasted a lot of time, they're not expanding either, so you can just actually play on one base just fine. I like killing the big one first here. Then I like putting this guy on the just move command so that he doesn't get lightning shielded or purged or whatever. And then I think if I spawn on the inside, sometimes the 3rd farm I can make around here. Sometimes I even go as far as making it here. Or like down the line, you can definitely get a farm here. I think it's pretty good. Try not to lose the water like this. Like always try and keep it alive for as long as possible. Get 1 more footman. And then here, you know, around 32 is fine. There is no specific supply. Like do it feeling based. Just keep producing footmen and peasants. Then now always start this and then you make a guard tower. A general rule of expanding is that you don't want to leave your expo up until it's like 80 or 90%. Because if you do that and then something shows up, you're going to lose all peasants. So you need to be there to defend it. But now I have a farm here. If this was an actual game, maybe I'll just put a footman there to see them coming from this angle. And then I'll go and do this camp in the meantime, which is just right here. So I'm actually still very close to my expo. And yeah, eventually you need very good base build here. So tower a little bit behind, like don't make it too far at the front. Try to morph it ASAP. Then obviously now I'm not gonna have much wood because I'm expanding, but you have to take like not too late. See, it's only 22 o'clock, it's still very early in the game. And then usually when the expo is finished and you have defend at level 3, you just go and fight. And then you start pushing. And ideally you should be with your teammates. If there is 2 people, don't push into 2 people. But yeah, you should be starting to push here quite comfortably and see my tech. Okay, on this map, the tree is actually really fast. So now the tech only starts now. Okay, so yeah, that's it for this map. On the outside, I kind of recommend this creep route where if you will be here, you will do this first maybe. And then this, and then the expo. But if you're on the inside, you can straight expo here, usually, pretty easily. Alright, so we're on Bandit's Retreats. On this one, you will either be on the inside spawn or on the outside spawn. This game, I'm on the outside, so the creep routes are a little bit different. The idea is usually you will be the one expanding as human on this map. And you will be straight expanding very often. Actually, pretty much every game, so... If I'm on the inside, it's very easy. I just go there instantly, and then my scout farm I will make over here. See, like if I was here, I will make the scout farm here. Now I'm on the outside, so enemies will be there. my scout farm will be around here to see the opponents coming. You can just use the normal peasant from the barracks, but because it's such a short rush distance, like let's say a Farseer rushes you, you're not gonna make the farm that far. Here you just rally right there. Like your teammate is very close in case you need help, because this is not such an easy camp to creep. Like the more orcs there are in the game, the more you should be likely to make the scout tower and then into an arcane. It depends if you have shared resources. I like expanding without a tower because I feel like I can get away with it, and also like I'm trying to calculate how many orcs there are and how likely it is I'm gonna be harassed. You know, I don't wanna just blindly get a tower every game and then I never get harassed. So it's really, it comes down to the amount of orcs. If there is 3 orcs, then yes, get the scout tower, ask for a little bit of lumber, and then upgrade that. Now let's pretend that there is no orc in the game, or I think I have a teammate that's very reactive. Let's say I have a night elf who gave me a wisp. Then I'm not so worried about wolves in my main. So now always send this. So it's decently in sync with when the hero goes to the expo. You really need to not get ensnared on the water. So I'm going to send everything in, wait until the ensnare has been used from the one trapper, and then send the water in. I'm going to kill the 2 trolls first. Yeah, now this guy comes in. And same thing as earlier, I made the water fairly early, so that I can have the next one really helping. And then I keep this one alive, you see I pull the aggro. Remember that the big guy here is the one that gives the item. If there is a blade on you, or there is a chance of a blade, like be careful. And then same as usual, like I go up to 28. Try to keep those guys alive, because then they help you creep the next camp. Send this to lumber. Then now we creep this immediately. Now 28. Just have to, you see, you don't have the gold anyway. And then now this is sick because this is gonna give you a lot of woods as soon as your expo finishes. You need to pay very close attention to when the expo finishes though, because this is very buggy. Like they won't go to gold by themselves after this. So let's say I'm not being harassed here. My teammate is doing some creeping here. He does this. Then now I'm gonna do this, and then I'll start going there. And then it's the same. Like getting defense really depends on how many orcs there are and if they're playing headhunters. But it's very common. Let's say like you play a game where like there is only elves or something. I don't know. Maybe even then you probably still go defend, I would say. So yeah, now I go to 30. Really, if you can master this build, like your MMR is just gonna skyrocket as human. I think it's the best build by far on every map. Whether it's with straight expo or without, getting defense just has insane value. I see so many humans that just straight expand every game. They struggle really hard. So see now, you make sure that you bring back all that lumber, then you start an extra peasant. Actually, I'm gonna cancel that because I want to start second barracks even quicker. And then second barracks immediately. Somebody in my chat asked me when I'm recording this, how many peasants do you need on lumber? Without a shredder, you need around 12 to 13. But it really, like, that answer basically depends on how many towers you're gonna get. If you're gonna get a lot of towers, like let's say you have an undead nearby, you probably need a lot of towers. Against orc, elf, and human, not as much, but undead is the real danger. And I don't mean undead just next to you, I mean undead on your side, because he might attack you, because you're on the outside. So on the outside, you need more towers than, holy shit, than on the inside. Usually, because you're the one getting attacked very often. So now you take, what time is it? 22:48. See, if you can do the build like this and you take at 22:48, bravo, because that's a very fast and sick timing. I mean, obviously there is nobody with me on the map here, so got away with anything that I wanted. You get the points. Get the lumber upgrade here if you don't have shredder. Get a shop shortly after. A great way to count how many peasants you have on lumber, I've explained this in my previous tutorial, is you swipe like this. One line of unit is 6. So if you do this, 6 plus 2 is 8. So now you need at least 4 more, maybe 5 on the expo. So you can very quickly know how many peasants you need. See, I've already reached the perfect amount that I'm gonna need. And now is when you start towering up. One in the main, one in the expo usually. It really depends who's next to you, you know? And how the pressure is going. The fact that you have 2 racks footmen already is like, gonna be very helpful to like tank the front line. You want your teammate to be behind you, you just activate defend and then you let the footmen do their job, and yeah, the push continues all the time. And yeah, get a shop, spam farms in advance. You're gonna need a lot of them. Then you can even start getting this as well. Alright, we're on Feralas. On this map, same as on the other maps, you're gonna get defense and then expand. And you're also gonna creep level 3 while expanding. I kinda like building a wall here, and usually I get a tower on this map because the creeps have poison and you're gonna have a lot of low HP peasants. So it's very risky not to get a tower. If you get rushed by even just one person, you're gonna lose a lot of workers. Whereas if you have a tower, like it's gonna be extremely hard for the opponents to do anything at all, and then down the line it's gonna help you as well later, like if you were to get harassed. So on this map, the scout farm is made here. On this spawn, it will be here. On this spawn, it will be here. So next to the Murloc camp, the small one. Yeah, here. So this is gonna give you a lot of vision if somebody wants to come in. You're gonna do 5 peasants, and you're gonna kill the 2 poison creeps first. I'm gonna get the tower here after the second footy. I'm gonna have that footy for the extra damage. I like making this here because it's not gonna block anything. You see, I have room here to build. So I always build my tower, whether it's solo or 4 and 4, close to my gold mining peasants without blocking them. You see, I don't build it in the middle of the line. I build it a little bit to the side, and then now it still protects the area if the opponent comes in. If he's on the outside shooting at your wall, then maybe it's not shooting, but that also means the tower will be very hard to kill. And also you can repair immediately. You have peasants literally right there. So on this map, this is how I do it. Take out the 2 small ones first, and you're gonna see the poison. It's gonna add up very quickly. We're gonna pretend we're in danger. See, just upgrade the tower. Don't try and gamble it. And then now I'm gonna wait and get defend immediately after. You get level 2 here. This is actually pretty sick. And then just like on the map earlier, getting illusion here is quite nice. See, I get the second water here, and it's the one that's gonna tank. So this one is still doing damage for the rest of its duration. Now I really like doing this. You take the injured peasants, and then you send them into the gold mine, and then you take the full HP one, and then you send them to mine lumber. Because now, those guys are gonna replenish hit points, and those guys are ready to fight and be pulled into militia. Now I send this to the expo. I wait until I'm at the expo to make the illusions so they have a better chance to going really far and scouting, because like the rush distance actually a little bit deceiving on this map. If I had lightning shield, maybe I will even use it sometimes on the water here to creep faster. Keep in mind, this doesn't give you level 3. It's kind of annoying. It gives you like 2.9. So you have to do this and then this usually. And now it's... Sometimes you will get wards and then you can set up one here and then go creep this. But still, the rule of staying near your expo while it's building always applies. You don't want to gamble with that. See, now I just keep producing, and usually 32 is like the sweet spot. Even get a crystal ball.
Well, what is it now? Fine. Get on.
Forces are under attack.
Okay, let's pretend I send an illusion here. See that nothing's coming. 31 is okay, I think, yeah. Really depends. Like on some maps, the creeps will give you so much gold that you will feel richer than other. Basically. Always start this. Now you see I waited until I had level 3 because I didn't want to summon one more water elemental level 1, so I just killed one small creep first. Got level 3, made the big water, the big bad water. And now this is like real danger, right? If people start showing up here, you need to send like... Don't send too many militia, this is very important. Only send like 3 or 4. You really want to secure that expo. And I always build like this, then I'll build a wall here, and then I make a bunch of towers behind on this map because people won't really go for your main, they will just siege your expo. So you need like 3 to 4 towers ideally to be able to hold so that even if 2 people attack you, you can buy so much time. The shop location always here. So like, let's say I will be down here, I expo there, the shop is up there because it's on the high ground and it's like kind of protected. If the people move up, they're kind of committed. If somebody comes from behind, they just get creepjacked and they can lose a lot. And yeah, here level 3, this is where you would start pressuring, but always keep an eye near your expo. Like let's say I want to head down here. I'm afraid someone will go there. Again, I'll leave a footman on this side. Right there, yeah. Send that in, and then tech. 23, so you see on this map it's a little bit later. It's almost midnight in terms of the tech. It's totally different than most maps in that you have the outside spawn and inside spawn. So this game, we're gonna pretend I'm on the inside spawn. I got a teammate here, and then one down here. And on the inside spawn, I'm gonna wanna straight expand right here. It's fairly safe. Like if two people show up, you can just disengage and not take the expo, and then you know they will be wasting time harassing you, and then you're just taking. You're totally fine. They also have to cross the map, so they will get there very late. In this situation, the farm will always be here. See, there is this camp here. So it's the same on every spawn. Just make it like right outside, as far as possible as you can to be able to spot. Like the goal of this farm is to see the opponents coming. Fuck. That wasn't planned at all. I got jebaited by a sheep. Now you send militia at the same time as the Archmage comes out. I find this camp pretty annoying to creep just because this guy is like so tanky. But usually I like to take out the purge guy first. And then this guy needs to tank the damage from the big guy without getting purge. So you see I stopped attacking on purpose. I did move commands. Actually, I haven't tried really killing the small ones first. Maybe that works. You want to keep this one alive, which is so hard. How quickly I summoned it. Okay, he yet lives. See, now this wasn't a very good creeping of this camp, because I took too much damage on my footies, and now this is like where people will come in. This is a great... So just like on the previous map, great item to scout with. Like the expos and everything. People don't scout a lot in 4v4, so this is amazing that now, thanks to this, you're gonna be able to see like anything you want to see. Same thing as usual here. The units are really blocking themselves a lot here. Start this. Then you make one more peasant. It's really like a universal build. Like the prioritization, it just, the order changes a little bit. It's kind of tricky now to know whether you should tower it, but because you're on the inside again, you're supposed to be safer than if you weren't. So yeah, now I like to do this camp next, and then I do this one. This will get me very close to 3. And if you start fighting shortly after, then you don't need to already have 3, because you're gonna get it in the fight by killing a few units, you know, maybe like 1 or 2 walls or something. Now, same as usual, I'm gonna wanna get defend at 30. See, I'm only looking at my wood. Don't get it instantly when you have 100, because then you're gonna block your expo, right? Because they're gonna stop building, because they won't have lumber. And then now this lines up pretty well as well, right? I'm creeping camps in the area while I'm staying in the area. So I can see whether somebody shows up. So yeah, defense. Usually have to defend the next racks. Maybe one more peasant, and then we're gonna start a scout tower. See, I'm spending everything instantly. So now we start moving out. Usually that's where your teammate, they're already harassing. You're getting the info from that. Power here. Then start lumber mill. Yeah, so that's it for the inside spawn here. Now I will just go and pressure, and then I'm gonna have defend. Don't engage against sedentars before that's completed. Keep your allied posted on like the percentage of this, so they make sure they don't overextend. And yeah, that's it for the inside spawn. Let's pretend that I spawn on the outside, so I'm hating life, obviously. It's so much harder to play on the outsides, and that's why I think you have to play one base a lot here. So I got a teammate here, here, and I got an enemy very close by here. On ladder, at my MMR, there is a lot of orcs that are going to be in your games. So again, you need to watch the orc counter, like how many orcs are there. Usually you can do dash game, and then this will tell you like what race the opponents have. And then you can try and calculate the chance that, you know, an orc might come and like, harass you and stuff. So this time the scout farm usually will be in a different spot. And I might make it just right here. And that's very important, by the way. Like, you have very little time to think about this, but you want to make the altar the opposite way of where the opponent is. Because I'm going to go and creep this small camp first. We're going to get the farm here, and we're going to scout with footmen here. Because that footman's going to tell you everything. It's going to tell you whether you need to upgrade your tower. It's going to tell you if you can creep something big, fast, or something. So now I start the farm at 19 very quick. And then you see my hero, he has the same progress in his altar. So this tells you whether your farm is in danger or not, right? let's say my farm would have just started now. I can look at this, I'm like, oh shit, maybe he's gonna be there with Farseer 2 wolves, or maybe with the Keeper Entangle. Okay, I messed up with the Footman, but usually I would send that... Sometimes I'm gonna do this, actually. We're gonna do this one here. Because they never read very well into it. With 4 peasants. And this time... Actually, yeah, I shouldn't have morphed the tower. Okay, not doing too great with this explanation, but... Yeah, let's say I see a Farseer coming here. I mean, you can even start the tower and then cancel it. But yeah, ideally I should have scouted quicker with my Footman. Let's say I scouted Shocker and he's going fast graveyards. Then I'm not in danger. Like, he literally just started his hero only, so... What I'm gonna do here, for example, in this scenario, is that I might just go for this and expand. Or I might go for this and then tech. But I really want you guys to learn to play one base, because there is some scenario, like, let's say a Farseer was coming to harass me. Then I will let the tower finish. And then now he's just gonna come harass my peasants. So I have to come back up until the tower is done, sit here, like, push back the walls. And then you wait. And then once the tower is done, you can start running away and creeping a little bit more. And actually, I got some games where I spawn on this map on the corner, and like usually the way I will play it, if there is an orc next door, is that I'll get defend and then I'll push him next. So make sure you check out those games. I mean, everything that I explain here, I literally use every game, so it's going to be very easy for you guys that watch this video to now recognize it. So yeah, go to 29 out of 30. Go for a lumber mill, because we're going to start adding some guard towers. 1 arcane is never enough. Then I'm going to get defend. Look at how well this lines up. Just like poetry. Just have lumber. And then next we're going to get a farm. Try to have a decent SimCity where it's like not too easy to go in or out. And then ideally inside you should have 2 sanctums. The shop can be outside. You can't really fit everything inside, that's the problem. You couldn't have... It would be very hard to have 2 sanctum and a shop inside. I think. Yeah, because sanctums are like super big. But yeah, now let's say like... I'll creep this and I'll start pressuring here. Like, I'll pretend pressuring. Imagining that there is an orc. This guy does not want to stop targeting this. It's good to get shop earlier sometimes. I like to get the lumber upgrade because you can deal a lot of woods. I'm a big fan of Tinker's Second when I play in 4v4. I think it's amazing. Like, cluster rockets is insane in late game from level 3. On this map, defense is extremely good to creep in the middle as well. So now, if I'm not pressuring an orc, I might just head to center and creep the entire center. Look at the progress. I'm actually gonna pretend like I'm having this type of game. So let's say now I would have gone and done this, and then now you wanna time reaching the center of the map with when tier 2 is gonna finish. Because then you could buy a second hero and then you creep the entire center. We're gonna try to fit everything in. So see, like, shop is safe. I think I have space for sanctums actually. See, like, you need to put some effort into like figuring out how to slice those. I like getting a farm here because like you share unit obviously in 4v4, so everybody can like shop from that tavern thanks to your farm. And I'm gonna show you the Tinker. I said this would be an actual game. You can see how easily I'm gonna creep here. And you really want to pull back the Archmage here. And then now is when I will start getting my sanctums. And then I will keep on adding towers progressively. I'm on, like, we have this expression in France where we say, like, you're the punching bag. If you're human and you corner spawn on this map, you're the punching bag. Like, they're gonna attack you. Human is like the very attackable race. They know that peasants die quickly, towers don't exactly last a very long time either. So get ready for it. That's simple. Get a bunch of towers like this, keep on adding. You can go up to 5, get masonry as well. Then your goal is gonna be to get to 20 supply, retrain to blizzard, and then have rockets plus blizzard. Look at these auras. Absolutely amazing. I'm gonna add one more peasant on lumber, because I feel like I'm kind of short. Obviously, I'm spending it really well. That's also why. Pull back here. With the last tower.
Yes, my lord. Yes, my lord. What right? What is it? Yes, my lord. Ready to work. Job done.
Get those rockets. I like getting 2 priests first. It really depends what next to you, right? If there is some orc... If there is like a keeper, obviously you need to get priests with this spell, so get 3 priests and dispel quickly. If there is some orc, you want to get 2 priests, maybe 2 sorceress after. And if there is undead, you don't want to get many sorceresses, because obviously they're going to get destroyed. So you want to get a couple priests, maybe 1 sorceress. And then directly go into breakers, and get like 50 supply of breakers. Get masonry. And I'm gonna add one more. I think 5 is like really good. Where like even if he has destroyer, it's gonna be really hard to actually do anything to you. So now I crept the entire center. Look at this, almost level 4/4. This would be a pretty good timing to start pressuring like soon if you weren't yet. Like this is the dream. If you can creep all this, and then beside like look at my gold. Like, it's just I just have an insane amount. So I'm gonna creep the expo and like start thinking about maybe taking it. Let's say like the game's going well, this can be a great way to increase your leads, but you're gonna want a tower that's expo a lot as well. So you can even add some more peasants. I'm a big fan when I expo of doing this. You get double tower. I think it's like super underrated. People never use these towers. Like if you get attacked in your main and then you lose all the towers, you insta rebuy 2 and then you remake them. It's extremely important. I don't know why people underuse those ivory towers. Like they can really save your life. In many scenarios. Let's say now this will be an actual game where I'm trying to expand. I'm gonna drop this. When I expo with towers like this, I just always put them close to the gold mine, like 1 block away, and then put them kind of one apart. So now you can see I can make the town hall.
Yes, my friend. What is it?
Obviously now, like the rule of being around your expo while it's going up always applies. So let's say like this will be an actual game and I'm worried they're gonna attack here or something. I'm gonna drop a sentry ward here. And I'm probably not gonna go too far either. So I'll go right here. And then against an undead, obviously that's tier 3 by now. I think it's really good to retrain because you're just gonna feed experience with water elementals. Whereas here you're gonna have blizzards. Blizzard does a lot of damage, obviously. Against an orc that's going witch doctors, you need to get control magic. But in general, against any orc, you should get control magic anyway, because you can even steal walls. And a lot of them make the mistake of summoning them like non-stop anyway. Yeah, 2 tomes. It's a sick camp that I never see because there is always an opponent here. What the f? That is sick. Hey, I always try to stay on 50 here a while. You can even get the 2nd level upgrade. I think I would even... Wait, I don't need a 4th priest. Yeah, I would start powering up the expo even more. And see, I have masonry level 2. Like this expo is just so freaking hard to attack. And then now, you're gonna provide frontline for whoever... Like, whoever's on the inside should be the one expanding, usually. Unless they're orcs. Sometimes orcs might not expo. But sometimes they will. You're never sure. And yeah, whoever's on the inside is the one's gonna be building like a massive army. You stay on 50 here a while longer. And then you break when you have like 1k gold, I would say. I mean, no, I just bought this, but yeah. Yeah, so I hope this explains kind of how to play on the sides. Sometimes you can have some scenario where, let's say I will be there and then my opponent is here and he's an undead. If I have rockets level 2, I'm always gonna retrain, buy a zeppelin, and then drop his gold mine. And then just blizzard rocket it until it dies, ideally. And yeah, here you want to keep adding some towers, maybe up to 5 as well, with masonry level 2, and then build a bit of a wall. So that it's like really, really hard to attack. And then you can go into tier 3 eventually when you have like 60, 70 supply, I would say. Maybe even add some upgrades from like this. But ideally you want to get Paladin. And your fighting capability, like let's say the opponent is here, you just combo him. Then you're gonna do a lot of damage like this. Gold Rush is another map where the rush distance is very short. Thanks, Mason, by the way, for the raid. Sorry, I didn't see that earlier. It's another map where the rush distance is kind of short. And spawning on the inside or outside matters a lot. On this map, though, the creeps are very easy to do on the expo. So I would recommend... Maybe you can ask for a little bit of lumber and try to straight expo in general. But then you have to get a tower very quickly. So I'm going to show you now. These two guys are going to bring back lumber, and instead of getting the third farm, I'm going to start a tower immediately. Obviously, you have to wall. Like now, my teammate, let's say, is here, and the opponent is here, so it will come from this angle. So you see, I'm trying to close as much as possible here on this side. And then I'm going to head this way. When you do that, don't get a scout farm, because now it will be too late. Like, it wouldn't help you. I'm going to get a farm here for like a little bit of extra safety. Then I'm gonna go do this first. You're gonna pay attention to my lumber. Obviously, I'm not gonna have enough lumber to expand instantly. But I can get... Like, I can feel really safe in my main. Like, you could also play one base, but the problem is that there is no big camp to do. So it's like really shitty to play one base here. And also, if you go here and then you get harassed, it's just really terrible. So I'd much rather, like, you try and expand. You're not gonna have much lumber, but if your teammates help out, you'll be alright. They don't even need to give you much. I think even 100 is going to be like tremendous for you. But then if the opponent overcommits to aggression here and then you have tower, you're going to be totally fine. I don't like asking for resources in start because I feel like on most maps you don't have to. But I actually feel like if there is one map on which doing it is going to do so much better for you, that would be it. But yeah, this map, the creeps are really shitty, so you barely get any experience. Basically, like you see, like this doesn't even give level 2. You get like a garbage Cloak of Shadows. On the inside, like you don't have to worry about much. Like if I would have a teammate here, I would skip the tower because like nobody's gonna come harass you like on the other side. And then if they do, they will get there so late it's not even gonna matter. So you see now 100 lumber, and then I will be able to start my expo like immediately. You can still do the same as usual. Let's say nobody's giving you lumber because your teammates are fucking apes. In most of my games. Then you just mine like this. And like sometimes, let's say like one player shows up with something really strong here. Like let's say like a DK and ghouls. Maybe you abort the expansion, you just go back home, defend, and then take. See, it took a long time. And also like the trees are really far on this map. So it's really, really shitty. I'll start the expo. Same rule as usual, like I would just stick around usually, maybe go do this camp. But yeah, I think you get the gist of it. You can also play one base, but then it's really hard to choose what to creep. You could also expand in middle. But it's like, it's reserved for the inside spawn. Like, let's say I have a teammate here. I might just go and do the expo, but it's like a really long way. On some spawns, it's actually better than other. But overall, I think I prefer taking the expansion here. It's like way easier. Some people even take it back there, because it's like tucked in and like kind of stealth. Right, we're on Golems in the Mist. This is a totally different map than other maps because of the possibilities to expo here at this expansion surrounded by trees. So we're gonna open Blood Mage. This might be my best creep route, I think, out of any map. Like everything lines up perfectly. Obviously, if you get harassed, it's much worse, especially because it's kind of hard to afford a tower because you want to go defend very quickly. So in most maps, I advise getting defend after 3 footmen. But on this map, you actually get it after 2. So that you have defend on time to help creep the expansion. For the farm, we're going to go really far. This is a long rush distance. So people generally won't rush you unless they're absolute dirtbags that like to harass with the Blade Master or something. Sometimes a Farseer as well. Yo, Trusty, thank you so much for the sub.
1v1 content. Keep up the good work as always.
Much love, my dudes. Much love. Welcome back. So now the farm, I'm kind of greedy, you see? I want to make it in the middle of this area, so I want to see everything. Anyone that even goes from here to here, I want to see as well. So now 22 out of 24. After second footman, look at my lumber, look at my gold. This is when I'm going to start defend. The Blood Mage are rally here. I'm going to wait a little bit. I start... Fucking hell. Bring back the wood. And then now after the Blood Mage is out, I send the peasants. I'm going to flame strike here. And then shift right click over there. Then now you want to send the Blood Mage in first. Ideally, you want him to get slowed, because now if my footman gets slowed, he's the one that's going to get targeted. But because the Blood Mage was slowed first, they're going for him. Don't go to like quarter hit points. Fall back after. And now it's going to be the footman being targeted. See, like the lumber is really tight when you get defend this quickly, so... Then keep one peasant here. And now I go back there. I open the rest. Don't make the flame strike here, but sometimes he's going to aggro creep, so you just want to take out the trees out of the way. Then now you send 4 peasant, not 5, because you see my lumber is like really short. You get the extra farm on the lab that you then shift back home. You want to send the 2 footmen together, because sometimes, if they both get ensnared, it's really shitty. I really hope this doesn't happen, actually. Yeah, sometimes it happens where they both get ensnared, which means the peasants get attacked, which is a fucking disaster. No, I mean, let's see, they said there will be a blade here, you could just like use Revelation and then siphon him. Fast here will be annoying, but then that's where your teammate comes in. Like wisps can be really handy. Your teammate's nearby. Actually, I took a lot of damage this game. Sometimes I do it way better than this. This wasn't one of my best execution. Same deal as usual. You want to be careful that someone doesn't show up there. This is the 5th peasant, by the way, that's going to build a tunnel. Use the one from this. Then look at my lumber now. It's lining up pretty well for me to be able to start the expo soon. I'm going to go back there. I'm gonna do the small null. You can actually wall off here if you like done a good job flame striking. It really depends, like, you know, if your teammate's pressuring here and then I have this farm here, I might feel confident enough that I don't need a farm, for example. It's great, by the way, to have an orc next door, because then you can heal easily, like, units individually. Now you see I'm close to 3. This camp is gonna give me 3. Actually, you can even flame strike this camp sometimes. Because now you're gonna see I'm gonna get some mana back. You see this guy is gonna attack with piercing. He's gonna give me full mana. Because like, you're gonna get level 3 and then you're gonna go fight. So this is why I'm saying this is one of my best creep routes. Is because everything lines up perfectly on this map somehow. Look. Take all of his mana, I have full mana. Exactly. Flame strike level 2, obviously. I wouldn't use that usually. But yeah. And you're gonna want to tech soon. Shredder is about to be available, but again, I would advise just teching first. You see, I already built up a good peasant count. So it feels like wasteful to get Shredder and then tech. I really want to try and prioritize the tech a little more. Always try to get boots and then get staff as well, and then that's when you start ideally looking for like humans are very good to harass because you can flame strike peasants, but you can go for like a lot of different races and like be very annoying. Don't take too much fights head on. And yeah, you already have defend as well, which is great for you to be able to fight with. Get this, start the tower, then get Shredder shortly after. Nerubian Passage, and it's very similar actually to our previous map, where in that on this map you get footmen defend after 2 footmen. And the reason for that is that you're gonna want to do the mercenary camp as second camp, and everything's piercing. On the expo, everything's piercing. So this is one of the best maps to get defend on and creep a bunch. Now I spawn on the insides. If you spawn on the outside, I like my 3rd farm here with the peasant barracks peasants. And now you're always gonna start with like this small camp. So if I'm down here, this will be this. If I'm here, it will be this. If I'm here, it will be this. And then immediately a second camp, the mer camp. You're gonna see how well everything lines up when you do this. For the first camp, we're gonna do 4 militia. I think if you spawn on the outside, you get defend after 2 footmen, then you make the scout tower, in case you get harassed. You can't make the scout tower first, because otherwise you won't have the lumber. So yeah, you just saw the builds. The previous map, I'm gonna have exactly 100, assuming these guys don't block one another like they were doing last game. The wood is actually kind of far on this map too. Archmage about to come out, you send militia, and then look at my lumber. It's a little bit delayed. Some of these maps are not too great for wood collection, unfortunately. You can start additional peasants. But yeah, like, as soon as you see this map, you know that you're gonna go for these creep routes. As soon as you get into the game, you should tell your teammates that you're doing the mer camp. And then announce which expo you're gonna take. You can also do the red, actually. It's a little bit harder, obviously. But yeah, elves, they will typically make the Ancient of War here to crypt this. It's much more effective for you to do it, which for them it sucks because then they have to go like all the way out there or like this, which is like a much smaller camp, but it's just so cost effective for you to do it that I think you should be the one doing it usually. So now, we send militia. You're gonna wait until defense finished, no matter what. I'm gonna replace this. Start a scout tower just in case. It's not very costly to get at this stage. Yeah, double defense. Send them first always. They're the ones tanking. See, one of them got ensnared, so now try to pull the aggro onto the other, but these creeps sometimes don't listen. They're going for the water for some reason. Get this guy. I think he's really good. He can like... He won insta-abolish walls. He helps against water elementals. I even turn off the healing most of the time. As soon as you're done here, you can send everyone but 2 peasants. You're gonna force a farm. Like this, shift it home. Then grab 5, go to the expo.
Yes, my lord. Yes, my lord.
What is it now? I can hardly...
The expo is very interesting because of the frost armor, which you wanna try and prevent as much as possible.
Well,
So we're gonna target this big guy first. Make sure you attack with the footmen first. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna activate defense.
get on with it.
Then I take the 3 footmen and I target the guy. If you attack with everything and let's say like the water attacks first, sometimes they're just gonna go for the water, which is extremely annoying. But yeah, you see he's gonna cast Frost Armor twice usually. This guy dies fast enough that it doesn't matter, but sometimes you can even just dispel it on this guy, not to be bothered. See, fast level 3. Then 33 supply looks about right on this map. Actually, maybe even... Boom! 36. Cancel the footmen, so yeah, so 34. Got the expo there. You get a shitload of vision here thanks to this farm, if somebody wants to go from the other side, but still, be careful not to move out too fast. If you have a teammate harassing and you see both opponents here, then you can run and start to go fight. You can also squeeze in this camp sometimes extra before you go attack.
What is it now?
Usually you want to set up expo and then push theirs, which is going to be there. If you have an orc either here or here, maybe they're the one you should push, because you have water elementals level 2, you have defense. A lot of the time they're gonna be the one pushing into you here as you do this. Either while you're creeping it, which is still okay, because then you can just send new militia. Or immediately after, which is also okay, because you're just standing there and defending, and then you have, you know, you got dispel from this guy. Try to keep some people alive. And yeah, from there, always the same, you tech, get Lumberbill, and same as on all other maps. On Nightopia, it's gonna be the same as on the maps where I creep a big camp first, then a small camp, then expo with level 3, so... I'm always gonna wanna open with this camp first. So if I have like a Night Elf teammate here, you have to ping it immediately and say like, I do this first. Then also call out where you're gonna expo so your teammates know, because like, you know, a Night Elf might wanna expo here, then maybe you'll take the center. That's the one you're the closest to. My scout farm here, I will send the peasants maybe a bit earlier, like I failed this game, but maybe I would have sent one of these. But I want to make it as far as here to really have a lot of extra vision for my teammate as well. But yeah, this is going to be first camp every time, the one near the tavern, then this one second, and then the expo. On every spawn you have the same. So here it will be tavern here if I spawn here, and then this green, and then the expo. Having defend is just such a game changer. When I discovered this, I did so much better against like headhunters and all that. I think straight expo has its pros, but this is probably stronger overall on this type of map. Because you get a bunch of items, you have level 3 instantly. It's just extremely strong in general. Militia there, 5. Then you're always gonna want to kill the 2 at the back here. Oh, sorry, the turtle and this guy. If you guys don't remember like how to creep, just rewatch this video. I will make sure to add timestamps per map so people can review very quickly. I think if I spawn on the outside here, I would get a scout tower, but on the inside you can actually skip it a lot of the time. Nobody's gonna come harass you on this map. If they do, they'll get there. Like, they wouldn't even be close to your base. Now they would just be showing up here. Again, another great item for scouting, especially because it's really about who expos and who doesn't on this map. Leave one peasant here to build a farm at the lab. Sorry, tavern. It's getting late. And then here I will actually send like this guy to check all the expos.
What is it
If you're really worried about harass, always get a scout tower, but I think it's a corner you can cut. If you're good at like base defense in general, like militia control and stuff. They try to time it here so that you send militia before you're done with the full camp, so it lines up well. Sometimes I even send the water elemental to the expo earlier. See, I'm gonna send it now and militia as well. So they're right behind ideally. Because they're faster, they're really fast. So now I check 1 expo, 2 expo, and 3 expo, ideally. So my team, again, people don't scout a lot in 4v4, will know who expanded where, what's the status of the expansion, can they go harass it.
Whatever.
Yes, my lord.
You require my
Yes, my liege. Aye, my lord. Say the word.
Well, for
Yes, my
glory.
lord. More words.
Should definitely not be taking this much damage on the Archmage. And then, you know, 34, 33, like, as long as you make quite a few lumber peasant like this, it's totally fine, no matter what the number is. Just make sure you don't have like 8 footmen and only 4 peasants on lumber here. So that would be very bad.
What is it? Right.
Well,
The positioning of the expo, like, always try to put it in a corner and then you kind of build around that. So if I make it like this, I will make the tower there and then I will build a wall here with maybe like shop, farm, blacksmith, and then 2, 3 towers behind, sometimes even more.
you require my assistance. I can hardly wait.
Say the word.
Well,
If you have a teammate that has a keeper or a panda or a DK, you can give them this. Gonna be more useful on them than on an archmage usually. Yeah, just stick around here. If you're not sure, like scout with this.
get on with it.
If you're sure there is nobody nearby, you got a choice. You can either go somewhere and start pushing. Sometimes you'll help your teammate get level 3 here with just your units. You pull back your hero. But you can also creep this, even though it's not super easy. These guys do quite a bit of damage. You have a lot of footies defend. Like these guys are piercing, both of them. This guy is piercing as well. Just the defend build overall is just so amazing. Look at this, 23. It's almost midnight. Start my tech.
What is it?
Kind of skip that tower for a little bit, which you can still do in actual games. If you're sure you're not being pushed. When I creep like this, if I get really low on footmen and I see that my elf teammate is only creeping and has full moonwells, I'll use the moonwells to actually get back to full HP on my footmen.
Well,
Okay, here I actually prioritized,
Yes, my lord.
in this scenario,
I can hardly
because you don't trade expo, you actually prioritize tech, then you add the second racks if you want to go for 2 racks, for example, but which you don't always have to do. But if you're facing headhunters, this can be really good. And in a lot of games, this is going to be really good. It's not very costly. It helps a lot. So, on Northern Felwood, we're going to do the creep routes,
Off I go.
like on most maps, where you creep level 3 and then you expand a lot of the time, but
Lord.
this map is kind of up in the air. Like, expanding is harder than on most maps, and there is also not many piercing creeps, which makes defend a bit less effective.
Job done. More words.
If I spawn in the center, I will be more inclined, especially here, or like here, I will be more inclined to stay one base and get defend, and I will try and creep the entire center, because everything's piercing here. So when I have like 4 or 5 footmen with defend, I will go there and like creep the whole thing.
Right.
'Cause you get some sick items. But it really depends. Like if I'm down here, I kind of like doing this because you can pull it. You can bring 1 footman, lure it away, and then you re-engage it when they're coming back, and then they don't cast anything, which makes them much easier. On this spawn, I think I probably would want to do this camp here. It's a very long rush distance, so you're not super likely to get harassed, but because you don't really want to rush defend anyway, you can still get a scout tower. But then you're going to do that first camp with 5 militia. It's kind of deceiving. It's actually a pretty strong camp. Hope I don't get stuck, by the way. Be fine, right? I like making the water very often as soon as the Archmage comes out, because then he starts replenishing mana instantly. It's like a little trick, you know? You really want to try and min-max everything. Usually I target this guy first, but I'm not sure how important it is that you do. Trying to keep him alive. Alright, I didn't take too much damage. This was okay. Do this camp as second, which is annoying because like your units are gonna get cursed a bunch.
Yes, my lord. Off I go then.
You require my assistance? You require my assistance?
And I think I would expo on this spawn pretty often.
Say
Trying to reduce the amount of units that get cursed, ideally. What did he get? Okay, so we only got the water. See, like, I made it attack first and tank. We only went for that, which is nice. You don't want to get your footmen cursed, ideally. Take 5 militia. And we're gonna send them here to the spider camp. Hey, on this map it feels stupid to have defend when you expo because nothing's piercing there. It's just melee, shitty spider and wolves.
What?
Yo, Book of Flames, thank you so much for the sub, my dudes. Welcome.
You require my
Yes, me
assistance?
lord. Off I go then.
Well,
Much love, mate. Much love.
What is it?
what is it?
More word?
Sometimes you can tank with the Archmage a bit here, especially that shitty wolf. The Archmage replenish hit points like pretty fast. They obviously don't go down to like half HP. See now, like, it's gonna be easier for him to replenish. Right item to scouts. And then now you see, if I'm missing some gold to expo, I'll cancel some unit. But now I can actually go to 33. Still have enough. I build in this corner and then I will build a wall here. So maybe like blacksmith. Actually, maybe like shop, blacksmith. You kind of want to have an accessible shop that's protected by towers, ideally. But yeah, this map is, to be honest, kind of bad, I think, for human. Like, a lot of stuff has, like, poison. It's easy to hit and run and stuff. So that's why, like, your base always have to be very clean. You have to build a wall. Get the right amount of towers in the perfect position. Yeah, let's say I wanted to attack here. I know that there is an orc. Again, like, orc is the one maybe you can attack with defense pretty often. I'm gonna move up there and then send an illusion this way to make sure I'm not getting attacked. I think morphing the tower before taking on a map where it's a bit more dangerous here, probably better. I would say you should leave this area when like this is like maybe 80%, 90%. Before that it's a bit risky. I mean, obviously right now I know there is nobody, so that made me comfortable to move out.
Job done.
Well, I can hardly wait. You require my
What? Yes,
assistance?
me lord. All gold is required.
It's actually
Get on with it.
not hard to camp.
What is it?
You never see. But here I always like to get one more footman. Then I get lumber mill immediately after. Which you will always get that first lumber upgrade, unless you're going for a shredder, by the way. It's like so worth it. You can even force that sometimes. And yeah, build up your peasant count a little bit. Remember the trick that I told you? You do this.
What is it?
So that's 6 plus 2, 8. That's usually on average what you will have since the build order is like identical.
What is it?
You can start getting shop on the expo and then you start adding towers gradually. This is some insane camp. How is this hard? Painted worlds. Same thing as on most maps. There is the outside spawn and the inside spawn. When I spawn inside here, I like to expand down there. With defend usually, because there is quite a few piercing creeps. And also you can get mercenaries on this map, which are extremely good. When I spawn on the inside, my farm will be around here.
Off I go then.
When I spawn on the outside here, I'm gonna expand here usually, so then my farm will be there. And inside it's gonna be there. So you see, like, your farm is towards... or you need to defend. Obviously, like, it's nice to help your teammates, but you're the one that also needs to reduce your damage. As you're the more attackable player. As the human player, so... Arm here for full vision in this area. We're gonna do the first camp here with 5 militia. We're gonna buy the healer. Maybe not instantly, actually, because then we want to get defend earlier, usually. Then you can get defend after 2 footies here, I think. The point is that, again, the expansion has a lot of piercing crypts.
I can hardly wait.
If I would spawn on the outsides, I would be there. The first camp I would do would be this one. Or here, this one. It's a camp with a big wizard, level 5 or something. Pretty nice to do, you get a lot of XP. Here, level 2.
Ready to work. Yes, me lord.
You need.
More work.
Keep one here.
What is it?
Why am I struggling?
Yes, my
What?
And then see, now you wait until you have defense, so I'm still a little bit early. Then I'm gonna send 4 because just like earlier I don't have that much wood actually, especially because I'm gonna get one more farm right now.
Well, you require my
Ready to
assistance?
work. Yes, me lord.
What is it now?
Right.
Make sure the both footmen are in range of those two guys, because those two guys are the piercing ones. Then these guys can attack whatever else. You don't want these guys to attack the footmen, because obviously these guys do melee damage. So you see now, both the water elemental are attacking the piercing units. It's just not taking damage. Careful with your militia. Somebody shows up, will be bad to have that really low. Then you can buy this big guy here. A bit. Bring the 5th peasant from the mercamp. Yeah, unfortunately this doesn't give level 3 here. Be very careful, like, let's say you have vision here. If your teammates don't put any effort here into having vision, just stick around the expo. Just in case. Again, like, if you run here to creep now, and then somebody like a Falseer shows up or something, or a Blade Master, you're gonna lose a shitload of peasants. You're gonna hate life. So, unfortunately, you play human, you have to really, like, put emphasis on protecting those little peasants, because otherwise they're gonna get wrecked. It's gonna be extremely bad for you. So yeah, I always try to judge here. Do I need one more footman? Do I need peasant? I think peasant's more important to build up the lumber counts. Start that tower. This tower makes you so much safer as well against everything that might come your way. You can even just sit there and then go for a lab, because usually people will not do these labs too much. This might be also a time where your teammate's being attacked by two, like here or here, then you have to go immediately and help him. So the way, by the way, I heal something here. I take this guy, I press E, I left click, I hold shift, and then I press move command onto the Archmage, which for me is V. So it's gonna heal this guy to full HP, no matter where he goes. And then he's gonna go behind my Archmage, and then I can just rebind it. It's like a very important trick that you wanna do in order to not be out of position. I'm gonna get this one before I attack. Here, this is usually a time where if I have defense, I'm gonna wait until I kill the creep to make one more water, because I want the water level 2, obviously. So you see, you can even press the hotkey in advance and then boom, immediately. So another little trick, you know? Min-max everything. That's just the way. Get this. Peasant immediately. Yeah, that's it for this map. Gardens. I really like the creep route where, again, you get level 3, you get defend, and then you expand with mercenaries, which usually people won't creep that unless they're human or they're night elf. So just check who's there. Like, let's say I would have spawned here. Obviously, this will be mine easily, but now, usually this will belong to this guy. But if he's orc or undead, usually he won't do it. I should have sent that peasant to build a farm. Now I'm going to expand here. So I'm going to make a farm here so that I have vision here on this side and then I can move towards this side. But if I will be here, I will make the farm here. If I will be here, I will make the farm around here maybe. And then here, I will make it here. Very important farm positions. And then now, let's say there is an orc here. He's not going to care about the mercamp, so I'm going to do mercamp first. Because he would never creep it anyway. You can skip the tower, but it's same as usual. Like if you're worried, you can obviously get a scout tower. Especially because you don't need defend very early here. So here, be careful, never attack this guy first, because he's gonna frost armor himself and it's gonna be really shitty for you. So you wanna get close, and then you attack the small one first. Then he frost armor the other one. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Then you take this guy out before he casts frost armor again. Ideally, you want to tank a little bit with Archmage here. Didn't do the best job. This guy just doesn't want to target the Archmage. Now you can get defense. And yeah, you can send all back all militia except one. Then you get this small green and then you get the farm here. Back home. Who's injured? Get in the gold mine. Careful with these guys, sometimes they aggro this, it's kinda annoying, I'm not even sure like how you can prevent it. And you can buy the assassin here at 19 o'clock, I think it is. So shortly after nightfall, which is at 6 o'clock, in the 20 seconds. 20 in-game seconds, so 5 peasant on this map is fine I think. It takes a while to creep. You can actually pull it, I should have done it. I'm gonna do it, but late.
What?
What is it now?
I'm gonna make the water now.
Say the word.
More work. Ready to
I'm
work.
gonna pull it, see?
Our forces are
Oh shit, I messed it up.
ready for action. Say the word.
See, it's 19 o'clock. Okay, I messed up the pull like an idiot. If you want a straight expo, you can also do this pull and creep this instantly, but I just feel like, look at this creep route. I'm gonna have 34 supply with the assassin, which is poison, by the way. Just insane. And then that's level 3, exactly. Like, even if there was a fast here on you right now with headhunters, you're still gonna do this camp here. The only difference will be you're gonna have to send extra militia to creep it. Maybe if this militia is about to expire, you send it home and then you send 5 new. And then you're just gonna clear this camp. Your teammate will come help you and then you're just golden because this guy is harassing you, he has no experience, you're level 3. And you're just wrecking. You have items, you have the assassin. But yeah, same thing as usual here. You just want to sit around if you want to creep something, maybe leave a footman there. You can go there and do this in the meantime. This camp is annoying as hell, by the way. Like, always like lightning shield a bunch. You have both of them are piercing. What's good against piercing? Defend. Build up your peasant count. Get the arcane tower. The build is literally the same on every map. Like our base build, I mean. The tower kind of tucked in. And you're gonna have to build a wall kind of outside it.
Forces are under attack.
It doesn't even matter with what. Like it could be like farm, shop, blacksmith, another farm.
Job's done.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's like on every spawn you can do this. Like even if you're here, you can do the mer camp. If you're right next to the mer camp, it's even better. We're on Sanctuary. On this map, generally speaking, it's kind of set who expands where. Like whoever spawns here at the top expands back there, and then in the middle, the two guys, we expand here and here. So you have to communicate with your team. Sometimes your teammate at the top here will have no intention of taking this base. Then it becomes much more interesting for you to take it, this one. Because it's more tucked in and easier to defend. Like if people go in there, they're committed. You come behind, they're kind of trapped. So just communicate and start the game. Now let's pretend my teammate wants to expand there. I'm gonna go to the center. I talked to this guy. I told him I was taking the one here on the outside.
What is it? Righto. What is it?
And it's just gonna be a normal straight expo build on this map.
All right.
We're still gonna see which crypt we wanna target first. It's very important.
Yes, me lord.
Always bind the 5 peasants here, and then the way you wanna know when you send them is you look at the altar. Now it's almost time.
Yes, me lord.
Ready for action.
And yeah, if you make the water elemental, you have to stay out of the way. So now, if I send everything, it's gonna let them through. Because they're stupid. So you wanna like get out of the way. Just stay behind him.
More work.
Escort him to the camp.
Righto.
See now, like the cooldown is coming back. See, like water elementals are very slow and stupid. And now I like targeting the healer first, and maybe one of the trappers, and then I'll go for that guy. But if there is some orcs that are known to play Blade Master and harass a lot, you can also go for the Magi instantly. But sometimes they're gonna get there early enough to steal it otherwise. Like the experience and the item with the Blade Master, which is a complete disaster if that happens. But yeah, when you straight expo, it's always the same, 28 supply. Great item, by the way. Don't even care about tanking more damage. Sometimes your teammate here is like harassing or doing something completely different, then you can clear his expo, but generally speaking, you still want to sit around a little bit here. Just in case something shows up, you never know. Especially because people don't scout a whole lot. Again, if I go here and start this camp and something shows up here and starts slaying peasants, it's a disaster for me, so I just want to stick around a bit longer. And on this map, in this scenario, I would say get the tower before you get defense. Like, defense won't do much for you here on this map. You're also not gonna move across the map and fight early, so just get defend. On the outside, it's totally different, by the way. Like, you do this, and then I like doing this, and then maybe sometimes this, and then I go for the item, which usually the opponents will already have gotten, but it doesn't matter because you're level 3 and you have a shitload of items.
Yes, me lord.
Now we'll upgrades.
Right to work. Job
We're
done.
getting pretty close to like the expo finishing. Now you can start taking a bit more risk. Even if they show up now, you see like the expo would finish anyway. Then you can just replace those peasants.
What is it?
Say the word.
I can hardly wait.
Say the word. Attack!
And you guys don't have to get defend every game, by the way. Like, on a map like this, where the rush distance is longer and you kind of want to creep level 3 instead of move out, in the first place, you don't have to get... Like, if you want to tech now, you could start defend, or you could just not start defend at all. And instead, tech now, basically. So your tech will be way quicker because of that, because you skip the second barracks when you do that as well. And then you can get defend later. Both are an option. You want to use like the knowledge that you have on the map of the opponents, of how many end hunters you think they're going to be in the game, to kind of help you decide on that. See, like defend won't be that delayed. Now I could basically start it now. See? It's not like super delayed in comparison. I would advise most of the time to still get the second racks, because it's just very inexpensive, and then down the line it allows you to produce a lot of knights. Some people like to rush for a shredder on this map. I don't think it's like necessarily a must. But yeah, you're always gonna wanna start adding more towers here on these two expo. The one back there you can just get one arcane. Most of the time it's enough. And then usually that's where you're gonna wanna get your shop. Sometimes I get the shop up here, or like now I could even get it up here. It's actually totally fine. Kidding me?
What is it now? Whatever.
What is it?
Research complete.
More work.
And you always get the right amount of peasants. Remember the trick. This is very important. That's why I keep repeating it. So I have 7 here, so I probably need like, I don't know, like 5 or something at the expo. Right now I have 3. I got 2 more in production. Perfect. Actually, I got this one up there.
Yes, my lord. Ready
Hey, now let's say like you find yourself in a situation. Sometimes even Archmage level 2 is enough. I like summoning the water elemental behind here.
Say the word.
Bring the footmen close by. You can even put them inside a little bit. Then I right click and then I shift right click here. So they're gonna disengage. Then I take the Archmage alone and I send it in. Can't click the toe! Yeah, that's pretty much it. Sometimes you'll get a Drake, Frillbog, whatever. You can start towering the main, get the upgrades. Start adding farms, more towers. Alright, on Twilight Ruins, play similarly to Ferocity, because if you spawn on the outside, you got somebody like close to you, and then, you know, you might want to get like a farm here halfway. You might want to get a scout tower, scout with your first footman, and then if you see him coming, you can upgrade it, and then you do the safe camp on the other side. Now we're gonna pretend I spawn on the inside, so I'm safe. Got a teammate here, I got a teammate here, not likely to get rushed, and I'm gonna want to straight expand here because of that great spawn that I got. The expo is not very easy to creep, and once upon a time elves would just send a wisp to you to detonate the creeps that get summoned, but if you actually pull it, they don't summon, and then the big lobster guys, they don't entangle either. So that's what that's kinda what you wanna shoot for. We're gonna try to do the pull properly. Every spawn is like a little bit different though. This one looks a little funny, like where I am right now. You don't wanna send these too close, by the way. That would be a disaster if you get attacked before. So you wait a little bit. I even make the water elemental now. I wanna get both ASAP. You get close enough to aggro, and then you start running away this way. Not this way, not this way, just down there. And now you're gonna wanna intercept those guys. If you fail and you get entangled, this is gonna be pretty bad. You're gonna take a lot of damage. I'm blocking the dudes. Ideally, they're gonna turn around, start fighting you. Try to not take damage on the peasants, ideally. They're the more fragile unit that you have here. Yeah, kill the 2 big ones first. The ones that give most XP, you can't afford to get them stolen. And then yeah, it's super easy to creep this camp now by doing this, basically. Send this guy there. Now, because I have my farm for vision, which by the way, was kind of supposed to be there, like this sucks that I can't build there. Like for example, on this spawn here, probably could have made it better. There is some spawns where like you can make a far better farms than other. Which is a little bit weird.
Under attack. I can't build there.
more work.
Here you can stay in the area. No, my rally points. And then usually you want to hang around here. It's kind of tough to creep anything else here. You can do this, but then you will take some damage on your footies. So you just kind of want to sit idle or take the risk to creep. Usually the guys on the sides are the one being aggressive very often here. If you want to creep this one, you can, but then it's like really random. Like for example, I can force the lightning shield. And then hope that the next one doesn't go through. And if it doesn't, it's actually pretty easy. Okay, if I get Purge, actually, I think he will lightning shield again, maybe. I see, like, you just take too much damage, so... Usually you just kind of sit back. Maybe this one might be better to do. You can also get a shop sometimes early to help out. To heal after you creep this. Like, you could actually technically creep this, start a shop here in the meantime, heal up, get the Shredder, and, like, everything falls into place. Remember, Shredder is 23 o'clock, by the way. Our final map today will be Wellspring Temple. There is some maps I didn't do because I have them vetoed. And also I think they're kind of garbage. So there's a few maps from the map pool I didn't do. There's so many maps, but I did do a lot of the maps. Also some maps are like very basic. Like that snow map where everybody goes air, I think it's like, I don't need to make a tutorial for that one. It's very straightforward. There's a lot of repeat builds also like between those maps, right? So I think you guys will be able at some point to realize by yourself like on which map you can get away like with what and what you should do. On this map, the opponents are up there, let's say. When I get farm here, if my teammates would be up there and a teammate here, maybe I would make the farm here, I think, for example. But now let's say the opponents are up there. You make the farm here at 18. And then usually you have this corner expo booked for yourself every single game, no matter where you spawn. Maybe sometimes if you spawn here and then you have an elf here that wants to take this one, then maybe you instead go there, but this is then you would do the lab first, for example. And then you just kind of have to adapt to what your teammate does as far as creep route goes. This is a tricky one to creep, by the way, because whatever gets slowed is going to get targeted. So you kind of want the Archmage to tank a lot at first on this one. But even I am not very good at creeping this camp, I have to admit. I'm always looking to try and improve. I try to pay attention to details, but... I wait until the Mishas close. I'm gonna wait until I get slowed. Ideally you want to get double slowed, because they both cast it. So now this peasant got slowed. I'm literally gonna send it all the way back. Yes, I lost a lot of HP, but it's not very common to get rushed on this map. But yeah, you see, like, it's one of the harder maps. Everything got slowed. I don't know why. Sometimes I do this, and then, like, it feels so easy, but most times I do it, and I'm like, holy shit, I just got wrecked. Start mining. Make sure you get the 28 unit here with the peasants. Now you can aggro this. And because the water elementals, let's use this as a cup helpful moment. The water elementals didn't take any damage. On the first camp. Usually you want to kill this guy first. Okay. Yeah, you want to kill this guy first. Let the water elementals tank since they didn't do it initially. I think on this map with these creep routes, it's kind of like on the first map that we saw together, where you should be getting defense almost every time here on 30 with the straight expo. Because of like the rush distance and like the way you're gonna be attacking and stuff. And also you can get Shredder very easily on this map. Important to keep in mind, if you're the one expanding, you should always get Shredder on this map. It makes it so much easier for you to go into like exactly whatever you want. Kind of tricky to get 3 sometimes, like let's say your teammate did that. You can go there and do this, it's not super easy. Almost have the wood for the second barracks, yeah, there it is. So see, sometimes you can even start it before this is finished. Always try to look there, right? Because sometimes they finish this and then they will like, go to wood or they will do nothing. You need to make sure they go to gold immediately. So make sure you pay attention. It kind of sucks to summon a water when you're this close to level 3, but here I would just take too much damage if I didn't. Yeah, here you can start hiring mercs. Always get a farm there when you do this pretty quickly. I'm delaying my tag, but it's okay here because I'm gonna have like a strong push. And then ideally, like here, try to see if your teammate's coming and he's ready to push with you, and then you start going. And then you already have the double barracks, and then now you're just gonna spam peasants.
Whatever.
You go for it. That's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial.
Get on with
Leave me some comments if you have any questions or like what you'd like to see in the future. And yeah, enjoy, guys, and hopefully your MMR goes higher and higher.